Got my bear. Can't see anything else. Cool. Fuck, don't start this now. All right. Oh, God. It's like everything right before I'm ready to do it. Everything my body wants to say, don't do it. I got the coughs. I got the upheaves. Oh, man, just honestly, just buckle up, Judy. Okay, it's gonna be a ride.
All right, fun times. Let's go.
Oh, man. Welcome to a conversation with Judy and Ryan right here on YouTube at takeabreathpod. Like I was saying, not feeling 100% right now, but you know what? Not going to be a weak man. I'm going to be a warrior, strong man. Okay?
Strong man.
Of course, I am your Lord Drizzle King. So the king will prevail for his people, okay?
It's a little loud.
So I had to make sure that the people in the back heard me, okay? As the Lord Drizzle King, I cannot just, it's not the people up close that I can be nice to and just you guys can hear me. No, all my subjects must be able to hear me, okay?
Okay.
Plus, like we said, depending on the show, 40 to 60% is me just yelling. So, get on board. Anyway. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Check us out on YouTube at takeabreathpod. Please make sure if you listen to us to like, rate, review, share, subscribe, whatever. But specifically, like I just said, we love it when you share the content. We are trying to grow, so the more that we get out there, the better for us, hopefully. Whether you hit that little share button on whatever apparatus you're using, or my personal favorite, wherever you are, just take a moment. If you're outside walking, you don't have to stop stride. If you're in your car, you don't have to stop driving. Just put the windows down and just give one nice yell of, listen to a conversation with Judy and Ryan. You do not have to actually have a conversation with anyone regarding what you've just said. Just keep going about your day. If you are at work, remember, we don't want to get you fired. So just all staff email, executives included, nothing in the body, just whatever your signature is normally. And in the subject, listen to a conversation with Judy and Ryan. And it's a win-win, really, because, then your coworkers get to learn a little bit more about you and you get us in front of your coworkers. So, really, like I said, I know I like to say a lot of stupid stuff, but honestly, I am so just enthralled with our audience right now. Eavesdroppers, I love you guys so much. I was looking at the YouTube channel today and I saw that we are officially at 47 subscribers.
Woo,
I know. We are on the road to 50.
Yes. Do you think we can hit 50 in the next few months? You think we can hit 50 by? That's literally 3 followers by the end of the year. I feel like we could do that.
I am seriously hoping about that. My new whole goal in life with this channel is to just subscriber wise beat your TikTok channel. That's my whole goal.
Fair.
I'm never going to catch you with the views or anything like that. So now for the time being, I just want to catch you in the subscriber count. I cannot tell you. Remember how last week we were talking about certain things you would do in the bedroom if it was, he's a 10 butt, and one of them was the Hulk smash every time you have an orgasm. That was the sound that I made when I saw that we had 47. Okay? Because we were on 46, and of course I always get excited, right? But I was like, interesting. All right, I guess we're going to be done for a while, whatever. And then I saw 47 come in. I was like, oh, yeah! I woke the EP up out of a dead sleep. She was like, what's happening? Are we being robbed? No, we got a 47 subscriber. It's all good.
No, yeah.
And then the other thing that is just amazing to me is everyone who's actually watching the content. I don't know if you saw, but one of our videos about J-Lo actually has like 200 views right now. And I would have bet so much money that there was no way that J-Lo would ever get us more than like 15 views. But good Lord, man, you guys are really, we appreciate everything that you're doing in order to support the channel in any way that you do it, whether you like it, you share it, you subscribe it, you just watch it, wherever you watch it from. We are so appreciative of you. So,
yes. Yay.
All right, now we're going to get started with the real show right now. And Judy brought something to my attention that honestly has me a little annoyed with how as a society we preach equalism and everyone is equal or should be equal. And then every chance we get, we go, you know what? We're not going to do that, actually. We're gonna do something that's actually super disrespectful, but we're going to say, oh, but we're just talking about men. Because anytime women or people of color or anything like that get disrespected, that gets treated, hopefully, in a much more serious tone. But anytime we're talking about just white men, particularly ones that could be deemed as good looking, oh no, you could call them whatever you want, but you could say, oh, it's a compliment because look how cute he is. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you brought this to my attention, and this is something that's been going on TikTok, and I appreciate you for bringing this to my attention. The top 6 hottest rodent men in Hollywood.
Rodent men, of all things to call them. Let me just I don't like that they call them rodent men. It's a very odd description.
No, it's not odd.
No.
It's not odd, Judy. It is mean. You never refer to a rodent as anything that is good. Like the closest thing that we've ever had to a rodent that was considered good was the naked mole rat in Kim Possible. That's the only time. Everything else has been maybe Master Splinter, but he also had to have ooze like jizzed all over him. So, you know, but any other time, rodent specifically, no. And of course, the first person they put for this list, is he on the list actually?
He's not. See, I don't know his name.
Oh, it's the guy who played Flash in the most recent movie. Hold on, I'm looking it up. I've purged his name from my mind because I was so annoyed. No,
he's not the guy who played Flash.
He's not? Who is he?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know his name, but I know who the guy who played Flash was. He has like that court case against him with grooming and
hold on.
That's not him.
That's not Ezra Miller?
No, that's not Ezra Miller.
Oh, hold on now. Hold on. I thought this was Ezra Miller all day. Look, that's the same guy.
It's not.
That's the same guy.
It's not him, I promise you.
Look, no beard.
It's not
young,
him.
Little old. No, actually, now that I see it, you're right.
He has blue eyes. Ezra Miller has brown eyes.
Well, it's not even the color of the eyes; it's also the shape of the eyes. Now, see, his eyes are more closed off.
Together.
Okay, so I don't know. We don't even know who this guy is. The only reason I even entertained this topic at all is because I thought Ezra Miller was the first guy because he's the most rodent-looking person in Hollywood. Because not only does he look that way, but also he acts that way. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just you're not going to enjoy the experience, but take a minute of your day and just Google Ezra Miller and all the dumb assery that he has done. Oh, okay. Well, now that I know, sorry, blue-eyed guy, Diet Coke Ezra Miller, who's probably actually more famous. I just don't know what he's been in. Sorry about that, but we're gonna see who's next on the list. Mike Feist.
I have no idea who that man is. Apparently, he's in the Challengers movie with Zendaya.
Oh, is he one of the dudes who did the threesome?
Yeah, he's one of the dudes.
Oh, okay. You got taken advantage of, Mike. I'm here for you. I'm a comforting shoulder for you to talk to. All right, next we got Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy.
Is it? Goddamn! I don't know how to say this guy's name. T. Shams.
You called it Timothy.
Oh. All right, so I do understand what they're saying with this look, okay? It's people with pointed mouths and pointed features actually, right?
Pointed features, yeah.
Yeah, so like your nose is kind of pointed in, you have
and their eyes are a little close together.
You have a sharp chin for sure. But like Rodent, god damn. Jeremy Allen White, no, not him.
I don't think no. It's something about his nose that doesn't
this is where I go with when we're talking about Rodent, is that it's not just like the look of someone, because he just gives the vibe, and this isn't anything against the person but he just gives the vibe of dirty hippie. Right? And it's because unlike most people in Hollywood, you could tell he doesn't care about doing all the things to make sure that he looks perfect all the time.
Right.
He doesn't have Botox. He doesn't have an immaculate skin routine. His hair is, good looking shabby, but shabby all the time, right? He always looks like he is 3 espressos deep into his morning because he was up until 3 a.m. the night before, right? So, but that's when we're talking Rodent. Now we're just calling dirty looking dudes, dirty, creepy dudes. Is that what we're saying?
I guess. Apparently, who's next?
Josh O'Connor. This guy looks super familiar. I have no idea.
Oh, he's also in the Challengers.
Oh, okay. So just anyone who is in Challengers.
Clearly, the 2 main actor guys.
You want to have a threesome with Zendaya? You better look like a fucking rodent, my friend.
I don't know. I think it's the ears.
Who knows at this point? There's so many different things. Oh, okay. And then, Roddy from Flushed Away.
Yeah.
You know what's messed up? Is that I had completely forgotten about this movie because it was the rat food movie that wasn't Ratatouille. That's the only one that I remember from that time. And I was like, Flushed Away? What was it? Oh my God, I do remember this now. Couldn't tell you what happened in it, but I remember at some point watching it.
Can't tell you either.
See, this is real messed up. Ezra didn't even make the list. We had to put a CG animated character in?
So you're saying Ezra Miller looks like a rodent?
Oh, no, he's the embodiment of a rodent, okay? That's why I thought the list was kind of perfect just as a list on the internet, because it started off with the most rat-like person in Hollywood.
That's so true. Oh. They didn't even have him. Okay, I gotta figure out that first guy's name, so I'll have to do some digging maybe during break or something, because it's gonna bug me that I can't remember his name. Like,
Google rodent-looking actors. See what happens.
Oh my God! If I type it in Google, I put rodent look, and it just says rodent-looking men.
See, God. All right, Judy, you do some research to see if you could find that possibly Russian, possibly I don't know, Midwestern looking actor who it's very confusing. He's got like a CIA face, and by that I mean just drop him anywhere in the world, he'll fit in. So, except maybe Compton.
Maybe, yeah, except maybe Compton.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? All right, so going from one set of rodent people, which but like I said, let me, real quick, just to cap that off, let me call a group of women pit bulls, right? Like, I can mean that as the best way possible. I call my girl pit bull because she got some pit bull ass tendencies, and I love that about her. Let me call a group of women pit bull. Oh, why women gotta be dogs? Why they gotta be bitches? Why they gotta be ferocious? All that stuff. But y'all can call some dudes rats. Okay.
And not even rats, rodents, of all things.
I just feel like the rat is the worst of the rodent. Okay, well, who would you, real quick, what other rodent would you name that's worse than a rat?
A guinea pig?
You would put a guinea pig worse than a rat?
I don't know.
They're so soft and cuddly.
Because they have the word, is this... Oh, I found him.
What's his name?
Barry Keoghan. Keegan.
Barry Keegan?
It might be Keegan, but it's Keoghan.
Barry. Sorry guys, I just have to know what he has been in now. Barry Keegan height, I don't care about that.
Oh, he was in Eternals, which obviously everyone forgot because nobody really liked that movie.
Oh, and the Batman. What was he in the Batman?
He was the Batman.
No, he wasn't the Batman.
I know he wasn't. Yeah. In the Batman, he was
Unseen Arkham guy.
He was he's the Joker.
It said
cameo. Because
in the IMDb thing it just says unseen Arkham patient.
I guess we'll see him in the next movie.
So now the Joker looks like a rodent? Is that what we're doing? All right. Anyway, getting back to this show.
Continue. Yes.
So, speaking of rodent-like things, though, I came across this story on Reddit about. Let me see. Oh God, I hate because I always hit the wrong button. That's why, Ryan. Learn your controls. All right, so I came across this story on Reddit about this. We'll call him an entrepreneur named Mike Black, right? And in this, I'll just read it for you. It says, "Look at this guy. This is from Ecom Eddie Chang. Look at this guy. He's a millionaire who went homeless as a social experiment. His goal, to prove that anyone can make $1 million in 12 months with just a phone. The story of Mike Black and what happened next." I am so excited to tell you about how stupid this whole thing is. Get ready for it. But just as a precursor, I went to Mike's website, right? About me. I run Told Media, a software development agency I built to 7 figures in revenue. I started my first company when I was 16 and have a lot of failures before getting to where I am now. Outside of running my business, I spend a good portion of my time mentoring other entrepreneurs for free. I really enjoy doing this. When I look back on when I started my first business, I knew nothing. I could have avoided a lot of mistakes. I made learning the hard way by having good mentors and a better understanding of good framework for building a business. Now, real quick, I have no issue with anything that he said in that statement. I think everything he just said in that statement is poignant, it is truthful, and it is factual, which I think are all the same words, but just differently said. So I have no issue with him. I have no issue with his business. And I appreciate that if what he said is true, that he does try to put back into the community. So honestly, I want to say this. I have no issue with Mike Black at all. So I probably should have stated this otherwise than calling him a rodent. My apologies, Mike. I get a little worked up sometimes, okay?
Sorry, Mike.
But the way that the story about Mike is framed really pisses me off. So that is the part that I'll get into. But Mike is a person. If all this is true, I'm not going to do a big deep dive on you, man. Like, okay, your About Me page, you took the time to write a paragraph. Good enough for me. Hire him. Right. Okay. But going back to the story. Oh, there we go. And sorry. All right. So in 2020, Mike Black made a bold move. He drained his bank account to zero, left a 7-figure business, and went homeless, all to prove that anyone can come back from rock bottom and inspire others. He publicly committed to the challenge. The early days tested Mike's resolve. He slept on benches, battling hunger and doubt, but he knew this was bigger than him. It was about showing others what's possible. Failure wasn't an option. Mike had to find a way, no matter how hard it got. Turning point came when a stranger on Craigslist let Mike crash in his RV. It wasn't much, but give it to Mike a chance to regroup and strategize was his next move. He used a small window of opportunity to plan his comeback and wasted no time. Mike got resourceful. He started flipping free items from Craigslist, acting as a middleman for profit. Every dollar went straight to survival. He stacked up odd jobs, telemarketing, assistant work, delivery. Brick by brick, he was making his comeback, or so he thought. Rock bottom hit hard when Mike's bank overdrew. He found himself sleeping in a roach-infested RV. That RV was fine when the story started, just throwing that out there. Most would throw in the towel here. For Mike, it only fueled his fire. Comfort was the enemy. Yeah, comfort was the enemy. This was the ultimate motivator to turn things around and fast. This guy sounds like a fucking David Goggins novel, okay? Good Lord. A $1,500 marketing gig became Mike's lifeline. He moved into a shared room, saving every penny. Obviously not. He moved out of the RV, okay? You're not saving every penny. You moved out of your free RV.
Yeah, right.
Remember the RV kid? Mike bought the vehicle back for $2,000 and asked to repay the favor. So now you're saving money, but you bought an RV?
So now he just lost
it. I'm not getting caught in the weeds. With a small safety net, he could finally focus on building something bigger.
How long? How long is this time frame that he had like a $1,500 job?
All I know is this all takes place over 1 year. It all takes place over 1 year.
Fine.
Mike zeroed in on creating a scalable e-commerce biz. Not just any biz, but one with heart. He launched a coffee brand for dog lovers that donated proceeds to animal rescues. Still, he had to juggle this with marketing clients and documenting his journey. Sleep became a luxury. To fund his venture, Mike made a bold sacrifice. He rented out his room and lived for free. Again. Probably in the RV now. Every extra dollar went straight into his business. He was all in. No plan B. Finally, he launched the brand. The machine was in motion. But then, a devastating blow.
What was that picture?
What picture? Hold on. I think that's just supposed to be his account or his QuickBooks or budget. His budget. I don't do numbers. All right. Anyway, back to Mr. Eddie Chang's riveting story. Mike's dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. His world shattered. He dropped everything to be with his family, but he knew his dad would want him to keep going. So he dug deep, channeled his pain into purpose, and kept building. Failure was not an option. Back at it with renewed focus, Mike went full throttle. He implemented a subscription model for his recurring revenue. He commissioned viral videos to spread to the world. Some days he woke up to hundreds of new orders. This was it. Momentum was building. Then another crushing setback.
Oh, God.
2 severe autoimmune diseases and a tumor left Mike in daily agony. This sounds like a telenovela.
Yeah,
He was running on fumes, barely able to function. Doubt crept in. Could he really keep going? That's when a message changed everything. A stranger reached out saying Mike's story stopped him from ending his life. At that moment, it clicked. It wasn't about hitting $1 million. This was about inspiring others and showing them what's possible. Mike couldn't stop now. Too many people were counting on him. Still, Mike had to cut things short. He made $65,000, a far cry from $1 million, but still a massive feat for someone who started with zero. True achievement, building a viable business in weeks, overcoming terrible odds, touching lives. Money comes and goes, but impact, that lasts forever. Are you kidding me? First of all, like I said, I'm not trying to besmirch Mike, and honestly, to a degree, I'm not even trying to besmirch Eddie Chang too much, because I understand it. He had to write this thing a little more audaciously so that people would keep reading it, so that the clicks would keep coming in. I understand the game, my friend. I'll throw a little clickbait out there every now and then. Oh, is that my finger or is it a penis? I'll never tell. But for us to act like Mike Black was actually starting at zero, is a fallacy. From his own About Me page, he said he made so many mistakes along the way and probably would have done a lot better if he had found good mentorship sooner rather than when he did. He's thankful for when it did happen, but those issues that caused him every setback along the way are what kept him from being more successful sooner. To which I say, that's 100% true. You need those setbacks, or you need someone who's been through those setbacks so that you can understand how to do things correctly. But most people, Mike, do not have a background of being a millionaire. Let's say I wanted to start that same coffee company. I had a great idea to start this doggy coffee company. It's called Barker, but I'm the real man. Sorry, I'm cooking right now, though. I'm sorry.
Love you, Ryan.
I love you too.
He says he love you too.
But let's say I have this idea. I don't know anything about scaling. I don't know anything about pricing models. I don't know anything about production lines. These are all things I'll have to find out. These are all things that Mike already has a plethora of experience behind, which is going to make his 1-year journey go exponentially faster. And then, I'm sorry, he had a lot of stuff going on. I'm not saying that he quit or anything, but he only made $65,000. Okay? As someone who comes from a background who knows how to make $1 million, maybe not in a year's time, but you do know how to make $1 million, saying that you're going to do that and then only getting $65,000 is not something that I would say we should cheer on and commemorate.
Right.
Like I said, kudos to you for trying it. You are self-made and don't need anything from me to guarantee you anything further. But let's just call it what it is. I don't want someone out there who has been trying every single day, who has never had anything given to them, has never had any mentors in their life. In fact, only has people ever saying, "What are you doing? Stop the bullshit. Get your life together." But they keep going for this dream. I'm not going to say that just because they weren't able to make $65,000 in their first year of suffering that they're a failure. You know why? Because that wasn't Mike's first year. It was his however many years he's been doing business.
Right, he just decided.
It's his first year with no money. So that's why, okay, Mike, maybe I'm calling you a rodent. That was a bit far. But this is a rodent-ass thing for people to read and expect that they should be even... Because to think that you can take a business from $0 to $65,000, while yes, it does happen, but to think it should be almost an automatic because a guy did it in a few months' time, let's say, starting from $0... He also had a background in knowing how to market. How else was he going to get that job in marketing? What if what if you don't have any skills other than you had a job at McDonald's and then whatever happened, you became homeless? How are you going to figure that out? You have to build the skills in order to even get any kind of place outside of your situation. So, all right, I can keep going on and on. I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, that whole thing. I remember when you sent it to us, I was like, this is a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Why did you read this?
I just, if anyone comes across something like this, the point of me getting all upset about this, I really just want people to know, it's a long, hard process. And yes, some people get shortcuts, but even people who have all the keys still have a lot of setbacks. So if you're someone who has none of the keys and you're experiencing the setbacks, just understand, I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen. Nothing in this life is guaranteed. But what I will tell you is that it will make you better. It will put more bullets into your gun so that whatever you do in the next phase of your life, you will be that much better for it. So just don't give up hope on yourself just because some fucking douchebag decided he was going to not take money out of his account for a year.
Yeah.
All right.
That was annoying.
All right, but all this stuff happens online. Lots of stuff happens online, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you've been looking at some weird stuff online.
I have not. First of all,
You've been looking at some. Nobody comes up with this topic and hasn't been looking at some weird stuff.
No, I haven't been looking at weird stuff.
Judy, I'm not judging. I look at a lot of weird stuff online. Okay, like it's not me being like you or so. I'm just saying, like, you know, you're in friendly company. Is my point. Okay.
Fine.
We talking tentacles?
No. Oh my God. Anyways, let me just tell a story. So I don't know if you've heard, but sometime either over the weekend, last weekend, sometime late last week, or maybe even early this week, I don't know when it was dropped, but there was an AI generated explicit video of Megan Thee Stallion that was posted on the social medias. Yes.
Okay, I'm listening.
I haven't seen it. I didn't know anything that happened to it.
I'll find it.
Don't do it. Why would you do that?
for research purposes, clearly.
Oh God. Anyways, so I didn't even know it happened until I saw somebody posted a TikTok at her concert, and Megan started crying, and I go, why? Like, people are commenting like, why is she crying? Why is she crying? And someone was like, oh, there was an AI porn video that was dropped of Megan Thee Stallion. I was like, damn, this is just, I don't know how artists and other, not even just famous people, just regular people in your everyday life this can happen to you. Like, what is the repercussions for this person who created it, on top of that, it was weird because I was we were in the car and Keith was listening to an episode about how at a high school, I think it was in Ohio, there was this scandal where one of the boys was creating AI nudes of fellow students. I was like, oh, and I'm telling Keith, I was like, shouldn't that person go to jail because that's basically, underage pornography? But the lawyer that what they were interviewing was saying, like, there's really no legal repercussions because it's not in the books because AI is so new.
So,
and I'm like,
the thing that I would say to that, and I'm not a lawyer, I just argue with them. Mm-hmm. So I would disagree about the AI aspect of it because you are using someone's likeness. Like, it would still, I've seen lots of things considered child pornography. Now, what I would say where the gray area comes in is, how do you define child pornography if the person who is the creator of it is also a child? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that to me is where the gray area of that one specifically comes in. As far as the one with Megan Thee Stallion, look, she got some good lawyers. Because I can't find this fucking thing.
Oh, I'm sure it's gone by now.
She got some good lawyers. The 3 links
I clicked, that thing gone.
The 3 links I clicked on each said, "You have been blocked. You are not allowed. Stay away." But
here's what report your ass.
Here's what I will say to that. For what? For trying to look at a woman? They ain't gonna report me. I ain't worried. But here's what I will say. I was honestly trying to see the video so I could see how graphic it was. I'm sure that it's very graphic because the woman who came up with the song "Wet Ass Pussy" was offended enough that she cried during the middle of her show. That's not me making fun of her. That is me saying that she is a boss bitch. She's been shot in the foot. And so for something this serious to happen to her, to make her break down like that, this is a serious thing. Mm-hmm. But what I will say, as far as someone going to jail over that, I mean, in my opinion, that then comes to more of a civil aspect of it, in which did this person make any money off of it? And I say that because while I don't condone this kind of stuff because it does affect the people involved, you can't stop people from drawing pictures. And I know AI is different, but like, you'll never be able to stop someone from having a fantasy about their favorite, pop star, if they're a talented enough artist, and drawing them in a certain way. It's the same thing like when I'm a child of, for comic books, I'm a child of the 90s. And if you saw, any of the women being drawn in the 90s, buddy, compared to how they was being drawn in the 80s, Oh my God. Right. But that's what I'm saying is that is just something that people will do. And I'm not saying, like I said, it's not something that's appropriate, but if you keep it to yourself, and if you keep it to yourself, you never like at some point go up to her and be like, I have all these pictures of you.
I created this from you. Yeah.
and all of your toenails. But as long, I think that we all have a kink in us somewhere, right? And if your kink is having something of a sexual nature of a certain famous person, as long as you keep it to yourself, as long as you don't put it out there for anyone to see, right? I'm not saying just the artist, like, no one else should have access to that. Because that's how bad things happen. That's how it gets on stage at a concert.
Yeah.
But it's also affecting people. Like, I feel like a lot of people are going to come at Megan because it's like, well, she flaunts her sexuality. She deserved this, blah, blah, blah. But there's other people out there who do not flaunt their sexuality to that degree, like Angel Reese of the WNBA, who has been sent a ton of really disgusting stuff. Yeah. Right? That has been AI generated. And I'm sure that it's every single solitary female person of fame out there that's considered sexy. Sorry. If you didn't get any in your DMs, you probably know why. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Don't worry. I don't get any AI of me. Okay. So we're in the same boat. We familiar. Okay. I don't get it. You don't get it. But just understand why we're not getting it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really shitty. And hopefully at some point, that kind of stuff can get reined in, but I don't know how to do it other than just making it like part of the programming of the AI where like the programmers say you're not allowed to make porn. I don't know why porn has become like, there's two things that are uberly prevalent in AI. It's porn and it's article writing. And it's everything else is like 12% of it. But if you want the big parts of AI, you're making porn or articles are being written for you. I don't get it, man. But yeah, that to me is the only way that we would be able to get around it is by, programming into the AI, stop making this stuff. Or, uploading people's likenesses and if anything cross references with that, then making it unblockable or something. These are all things that I don't know if it's even possible. I'm sure it would because guess what? AI is not really what you think it is. We can have a whole discussion on that one day, but it's not Skynet, okay? They're not going to launch the nukes on us anytime soon. Oh, you know what? Mark it for next week. We're having an AI spectacular!
All right, EP, you hear that when you're listening to this?
AI Spectacular next week. Book it.
Book it.
I want to have on Skynet. I want to have Wall-E. I want to have Hal from Space Odyssey. Okay. Okay. I want to have the little floaty bitches from Batteries Not Included. Can we get Buzz Lightyear? She gave me a sideways thumb. I don't know what that means.
Like this?
No, not even shaking. Just straight. No movement. So we'll see. We'll see if we get any of those guests next week.
We'll see.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
4 minutes left in the hour. I want to get to an Am I Overreacting? Because I really do enjoy these. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Am I overreacting? House guests invited their own house guests. To preface, I need perspective because I know that I have a higher than average need for peace, quiet, and solitude, and this may make me unreasonably sensitive. Also, husband and I have been together for 6 years, so his daughter never lived with us. My husband, 57 male, and I, 55 female, have an average 3-2 house. I'm guessing that means 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
3 bed, 2 bath. Mm-hmm.
Nothing fancy. His daughter, her boyfriend, and her 5-year-old are visiting. Perfectly great. it's a bit overwhelming and overstimulating for me since I'm not in any way of a kid person, then it's not perfectly great. Okay? I'm like, don't get me wrong. This next sentence is going to put in perspective. It's not perfectly great though, but it's all good. It's family and it's only for 10 days. No one has ever said it's family and it's only for 10 days and said it's perfectly great.
Perfectly great. Yeah.
They said, I am going to do whatever I can to make it through the next 10 days. If that means I'm going to be coked up out of my mind, then I will do that.
Yes.
Yesterday, I come home from work and find out that she invited a friend of her from several states away to come visit and stay overnight with her kid. So we're up to 5 adults and 2 little kids in this 3-2 house. She did ask my husband, and he said yes. Today, I'm supposed to be off work at 3. Nice and early day. Hoping to chill, relax, knit, read, whatever. Instead, I'm going for a hike and to hang my hammock in the trees and read in the woods until they kick me out at dark. Is this a reasonable situation? I don't know who I'm disappointed in. My husband for agreeing even though he knew perfectly well how I'd react, my daughter for thinking this was in any way appropriate, or me for being overly sensitive. All right. Judy, go ahead.
I think I'm trying to put like myself in her situation, right? Like I invited my kid, her husband, her kid, and then she invites her. I can see where the mom could be upset because I would probably be the same way because I also don't like my space. I mean, I do like my space. I
don't like my space.
Sorry, I like my space, but at the same time, I feel that her husband should have called the mom. Husbands always have to check in with their wives. I'm just letting y'all know now. Like before you do something, maybe talk to your wife about it.
I agree with that aspect 100%. You know, even if you are going to do something dumb, no matter what, you got to let them know.
Yeah. Like, just let us know, little, maybe quick, hey, this is what's happening text. Great. Then I can be like, let me call you because this is not happening right now. I feel like, the mom should have had instead of avoiding, I get that she's just going to avoid the situation until she has to go home and just go to sleep and not have to deal with the people that are at her house. She could have had like maybe a grown-up conversation. But at the same time, did they mention it's not her daughter? It's not her daughter. Like it's her husband's daughter.
It's her husband's daughter because she did say at the beginning they had never lived together. Yeah. So I will say she is overreacting, but with cause. Okay, I'll blast through this real quick. I don't have an issue with her going, as long as she smartly lied about it. Don't leave the house don't leave the house all day and do some shit like that and then be like, yeah, I was gone all day because I'm so mad at you. No, I was working. I had to work late and everything got caught up and I'm sorry I'm late. Right. And I say that because I do not think that she will be missed that much because the daughter will be preoccupied with her friend coming into town because they did say the friend was only going to be there for the one night of the 10 days. Okay. Right. So 2 days, 1 night, whatever. I think that she is overreacting in the fact that she said that the daughter should have thought if it was acceptable or not. And the reason I say that is because the daughter did wonder if this was acceptable or not. And she asked her father and said, hey, Dad, is this okay? And Dad said, yeah, it's okay. Yeah. The more the merrier. Fuck that bitch or wife of mine.
That's why husbands talking to you. He's still at the door. Check in with your wife first before you make decisions.
Right. So, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think he needs to check in. So that's what I'm saying. I think that she is overreacting by being in any way upset. Annoyed, I totally get at being annoyed at the situation, but being upset with the daughter in any way, because now maybe there's more to it, and she like did a whole, Dad, come on, please, right? I'm just gonna say she said, Dad, can I please? So I think that she has every right to be heated at the husband for making a decision, especially when she said in her statement, he knew that this would bug me.
Yes.
Okay. Like that's the nail in the coffin for me as far as everything goes. If you know it's going to bug somebody and you don't check with them, then you have every right to be upset about that. So that's where I'll leave that. Overreacting, but for a good reason.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it for first segment, first hour, whatever you want to call it, of a conversation with Judy and Ryan. When we come back, I'm going to let y'all know why Luka Doncic is actually the face of America. Not the NBA, America. I like when I get my voice. America. I'm a man. I got a deep voice.
With the southern drawl?
Yeah, because Americans have southern draws, and they're Ford tough, like a rock. All right, Judy and the Mad Dog have to go. So we will be right back right here in a conversation with Judy and Ryan. Woo! Welcome back to a conversation with Judy and Ryan right here on YouTube at takeabreathpod. Make sure you listen to us or watch us wherever you do the listening or watching. We're on audio podcasts like Apple, Spotify, Google Play. We're on YouTube at takeabreathpod. We even have a TikTok, baby, at takeabreathpod. Why am I doing this voice right now? I have no idea. I just sometimes I like to give something a try. I realize how dumb it was, and then I ejectocito. Exactly, So we get out of it. I could hear Judy on the inside just being like, no, usually she's like,
need more meat stick.
But right now she was like,
no.
Okay, so I get it. I made an executive decision, and I stopped. Please do remember, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. At this point, I would understand if you didn't. But please like, share, and subscribe. Mostly the thing that helps us the most is if you share the content anywhere that you ingest it, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, audio-wise. Because, we're small and we're trying to grow. And if you like it, somebody else will probably like it. My favorite way of sharing it, the way that I like to share it the most, is wherever you are, you just take a moment, and you don't have to stop what you're doing, but you just take a moment and you just listen to a conversation with Judy and Ryan. Right? Now, if you're at work, obviously it's not appropriate. If you're in a library, it's not appropriate. So just, either if you're at work, all staff email, executives included. If you're, at a library or something, just whichever social media you use, just at every single person, a group message. Listen to a conversation, Judy and Ryan, in the subject line is all we need, and you send it, and that's it. You never have to actually talk to them about it. If they ask you, what is this? I don't even know what you're talking about. Just treat it like a blind spot in your memory. I have no idea. They'll show you the screenshot of them receiving it. Like, wasn't me, must have been hacked. And then you go on about your day.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's about right.
Judy, before we went to break, I told you that I was going to explain why Luka Doncic, such an American name, he is the face of America. I want everyone to understand that, okay? For anyone wondering, if in case you don't know anything about what's going on in the world, Luka Doncic is the all-star, all-world, whatever you want to call it, superstar for the Dallas Mavericks. Mm-hmm. He is currently in the finals against the Celtics. They are down 0-3. In his most recent game, he was chastised quite harshly, in my opinion, due to the fact that he was whining and complaining to the refs a little bit much. As a result, some of his defenses were not nearly as they weren't executed the way they should be, because he was out of place, because he was crying. So I'm not going to sit here real quick on the game. We will get to why he's the face of America in a second. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to, as far as the games go, I do think that the reason he is upset is because the refs, in my opinion, I am in no way a basketball scholar. I watch maybe 15 games a year, and that's including the playoffs, right? So I'm not going to try and sit here and say that I know best. But what I can say is that my eyes tell me when I watch the game is that the Celtics are allowed to be a little more physical on the defensive end than it seems that the Mavs are being allowed to be, right? And I mean that there are not only just clearly missed calls that the refs are not getting, in which we saw one play in the game last night, because we're recording this on a Thursday, in which Luka got hit in the hand and in the back of the head on a layup. Nothing was called, right? Meanwhile, on the other side of the court, I'm not going to talk about any of the fouls on Luka, but on the other side of the court, you know, Kyrie Irving just a little too hard on somebody. Whoop, that's a foul. I was just standing here. How'd I get a foul? That's a foul again for saying that wasn't a foul. And yes, am I having fun with it? Of course. But you do see players like Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum to a degree, playing really, really physical defense and not getting calls of foul. Meanwhile, anything that might be ticky-tacky is getting called against the Mavs. And to what I'm saying with that is it just seems like an unfair circumstance is being made, right?
Right.
Now, whether you agree with that, you disagree, that's just my opinion. I understand, you know, a lot of other pundits in this sphere have just said he is a complainer and he needs to shut up. We have something right here from... There we go, from Doris Burke, in which, she's talking about his defense. She goes, a moment where Luka takes a minute to bark at the officials, doesn't sprint in transition, and you're playing 5-on-4, right? But then we get to why, in my opinion, he is the face of America. Now look at this, right? Right here
American.
We see him. Okay, we get it. He's a 25-year-old Slovenian, okay? But first off, if we want to be critical of that, what is America if not a melting pot of all cultures, races, creeds? Okay? I believe that the face of America easily could be someone of a different nation's descent. Because especially we are America, the land of the free, where anyone's dream can happen. So we see someone who wasn't even born in this country, who's able to become a multimillionaire by the age of 25. I would say that's kind of American dream-like, right? But specifically, let's forget all that. Specifically, look at this picture. You see what's happening? He is getting called for another foul. And he has seen the way that the games have been going, how the refs have been calling the fouls against him and his team compared to how they've been calling them against the Celtics. And he just feels like it's unfair. He feels like he is being treated unfairly. Now, Ryan, you might be saying to yourself, Ryan, what does this have to do with him being the face of America? I'm glad you asked. See, in America, when we feel like we are being done incorrectly, we like to let people know about it.
Of course.
And you might be wondering how I have this understanding of the American public. Have I done surveys across the nation? Have I, done research until 3 a.m. on some random survey website? Have I even gone out and collected information for the Census Bureau?
No.
Of course not. But what I have done is every single day at my boutique, I have to make phone calls and phone calls and phone calls to people telling them how their rate is going up, and it's not because of anything that they did. It is just because it is more expensive now. The insurance is just more expensive. And do you know what I get more times than not? And real quick, I'm not going to say this is everybody. I'm not even going to say it's the majority. But it is the majority of people who answer the phone. Right? Because the majority of people just ignore it. They see a number they don't know, and they're just like, I'm not talking.
No, you can leave a message if it's important.
Right?
Yeah.
But the majority of people who answer the phone feel like something is unjustly being done to them.
Right.
And you know what? Do they just sit there and quietly take it with a smile and go, you know what? Thank you for being so honest about your interpretation of everything. I appreciate it. I will take that information and try to make myself a better person.
No.
Of course not. They sit there and they tell you for 5 to 10 minutes about how they've never done anything wrong. And they have a spotless driving record. And they have all these policies in this state and that state. And they should have more of this and that and everything. And you know what I'm here to do? Tell them, sorry, the price went up. Right? And so that is why I say Luka is the face of America. He's just doing what we all do. When we feel like we are unjustly being taken advantage of, we let that person know. Mm-hmm. I will give you an example. Today, I was making this phone call to let a woman know that her rate was going up. And during the course of her complaining, which I to a degree I'm fine with. As a human, no one likes hearing it, but I get it. You're venting. But she said to me at one point, and I'm sure that you have this conversation all day, every day with your clients, to which I said, before she get anything else out, because I wanted her to hear it, yes, I do. You're correct. Do you know what then happened?
She continued on.
She continued for another 5 minutes to tell me about how she was unjustly being treated. So don't talk to me about how Luka should be better at dealing with this, or he shouldn't complain so much. You know what? I'm sorry. That's what the majority of people who speak to people do. If you're going to say that he just shouldn't say anything and he should be one of those people that just only, plays basketball and is a robot and blah, blah, okay, I get that. But I'm sorry, that's not people. That's not America. It's not who we are. This man, this large Slovenian man is the face of America. I want everyone to understand that because he is who you are. No, Ryan, I don't ever complain. You're a liar. We all have that breaking point. There's never been a single person that just took every single aspect. You might be better at it than most. You may be. Look, I really love my boss at the boutique. I think he is awesome. He complains more than anyone about how athletes like Luka shouldn't whine and bitch and moan about foul calls, right? Do you know what happens when an underwriter or a claims representative is telling him that something that he knows is foolishness? He tells him how terrible the company that they both work for is and how those people on the other end of the phone are not being held accountable. So we all do it.
Yeah.
Judy, I feel like you've done it a little bit.
I complain all the time. Even my next topic is just complaining. So look, we're just gonna hear more complaints.
I mean, that honestly, I don't think we could have done a better segue than that.
No, I honestly didn't know where the Luka part was going, but I was like, wow, you did it pretty well with that rundown.
I'm a creative genius. What can I say? Okay. You give me 2 sticks and a piece of ham, I'll give you a Thanksgiving dinner. Okay. It's just how I work.
Good job. Good job.
Oh, thank you. All right. So one of the things that boomers have been complaining about is Luka. But Judy has a whole bunch of other stuff that they are also complaining about.
Yes. No. It's not boomers complaining. It's millennials or the younger generation's boomer complaints.
Oh, so we're complaining like boomers.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I don't like this anymore. Okay. Okay.
So, there's a whole tweet thread on Twix, and it just says, "What's the most boomer complaint you have?" And so I just wanted to talk about or mention a few that I liked.
Okay.
So the first one is concerts starting after 9 p.m. Now, yes, this one, I just went to a concert on Monday. And, it says doors open at 7 p.m.
Okay, so doors, I was going to say, what time do doors open and what time, are we talking 9 p.m. as in that's when the show starts, or 9 p.m. like that's when the main act starts?
The main act starts.
Oh, okay, now I'm even more annoyed.
Or I guess maybe, but that's what happened. The main act started at 9 p.m. at the concert we went to. Okay. There have been concerts I've gone to, like, I think it was Doja Cat. That bitch did not come on till almost 11 p.m. All right. I'm like, damn bitch.
Yeah, but you
work the next day.
Yeah, but see, this is another thing about fucking America. I want everyone to understand, okay? Guess what? If something is happening at a time that is inconvenient for you, do you know what that means? That means you are not the priority or the subject of who they are selling that product to. I am so tired. Going back to basketball real quick, I'm so fucking tired of people on the East Coast. Oh man, why does the our games have to be so late? And then everyone on the West Coast just gets to get off work and start watching it. You know why? Because we're more fucking important, okay? Because West Coast people are more important when it comes to sports. No, it's just because they want to sell it to as many people as possible. If you want to stay up for that second game, no worries, do it. But it's not for you. It's not being sold to you. It's being sold to people in that area. So same thing, Judy. Doja Cat is trying to get a 15-year-old girl who has her mommy's credit card to buy all the tickets for her and her friends, not you and your poor husband who got dragged to a fucking concert. He's like, Doja who? Okay, fine, whatever you want, honey. I love you. Let's go to the concert. 11 a.m. Are you kidding? 11 p.m.
He did not go to the concert with me. I went with a friend. Anyways, that was the first one. Okay.
9 p.m. on a Wednesday. How dare these concert goers? All right. You know what? I'm feeling real Generation Z right now. Let's go. What's the next one?
All right. This lady says, I just want to call a helpline desk or helpline number and speak to an actual human being.
Okay, no, that one. So I agree with this one. And it's not, if people are upset about phone trees where you hit numbers until it gets you to someone specific, shut up. You're just being annoying. Shut up. But with all of these new, because I deal with it at the boutique, with all of these new AI type phone services that you're supposed to say what you mean and then it's supposed to guess what you're saying and then give you an answer based on that. No. You know why? Because in my job specifically, there are so many different terms. It's impossible for this AI service to actually get it right. And more often than not, gets me sent to the wrong fucking person. And then they got to send me to another person, which makes the process even longer.
Yes.
So if we're just talking a phone tree, guess what? Just hit 0. Just keep hitting 0. Okay?
That's what I do too. Yeah.
No matter what it says, it could ask you for a social security number. You hit £0 and it'll get you to an operator. But the AI stuff, I get that. All right.
No, let me say there was one, I forgot which company I was calling. I just kept pressing 0 and they're like, that's an invalid. That's an invalid
Well, you better make it valid. You better start validating, okay? Stamp this fucking card right now, okay?
Okay. Next one. QR code menus in restaurants. I want a physical menu.
I think it depends on the level of restaurant you're at. Okay. If you're at anything that serves wet naps, I feel like a QR code menu is actually better. Because right, well, I'm saying like if you go to a seafood boil, a barbecue restaurant, a wing place, anything like that, which also tells me like the level of restaurant that you're at. And I'm saying like you're not going to fine dining. Now, if you go to a fine dining restaurant, that's different. It's about the experience. I'm not paying just for the food. I'm paying for everything involved. I better have a menu.
Yeah.
But that one, like I said, it just, I adopt technology a lot easier than most people apparently. But to me, yeah, it's the menu. If you're anywhere where they put the menu on on the wall, okay, then just deal with the QR code. Just deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. At that point, yeah. Okay. This one says, it's in all caps too. Turn the music down in restaurants. We are not at a club.
Oh my God. This one sounds like my fucking mother. Okay. We went to a Korean restaurant one time, right? And it was a little darker, the music was a little louder, and it was clubbier music. But that was the atmosphere they were going for. Like I said, maybe my mom wasn't their chosen demographic for what they were going for, right? But we go in there for lunch, and she's just saying, "Oh, I'm not liking this. I don't like the music. I don't like how dark it is. She's pulling out her readers and she can't read the menu because it's so dark. I'm not a fan." And then, so my mom loves Korean barbecue and her favorite dish is bulgogi, right?
Yeah.
So she goes to the waiter and she's like, because we weren't in a Korean barbecue place, we were in a Korean restaurant.
Okay.
So she goes, "I like bulgogi. Can you tell me like what here is like that?" And he goes, "Oh, this is bulgogi. We just call it something else, but that's it right there." Dead ass. She goes, "Oh, I'm not going to have that." What are we doing? What are we doing now? Okay. But it was because she was so offset by the entire atmosphere of it.
Yeah.
That she was like, "It doesn't matter what you tell me. I've chosen to not have a good time at this point." But that's what I'm saying. If you feel like it's a little too dark, it's a little too loud, it's a little too whatever. Now, same thing again. If we're at a fine dining establishment, no.
Right. Yeah.
You shouldn't be blasting Bad Bunny over the PA speakers, right?
Yeah.
But because it's about the ambiance, it's about what I've paid for. I've paid for a nice time. But if we're, like I said, if we're at just a regular restaurant, like a TGI Fridays, at Chili's, we going Dollaritas, you know what I'm saying? Then get over yourself. Like, this is like, you're just being old at this point. Like, you're doing what your parents were complaining about when they were at the Korean barbecue place, the Korean restaurant. I'm not talking about my mom. I love my mom. She's great.
That's why these are boomer complaints that we have. Okay, sorry. Moving on.
How many do we have left?
1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just read the next few that I like. Okay. I mean, I liked all of these, but still. I want to get your take on this one though. Digital copies of games should cost less because they don't need to manufacture discs.
100%. 100%. Now,
I never got why the online version is also the same price as if you to buy the disc version.
The reason is just because of they're keeping their market sound, right? Because it's the same thing like Ubisoft specifically. I know I'm getting real into the weeds. Just stick with me, guys, for a moment. So Ubisoft or Ubisoft, whatever you want to call it, is notorious for dropping their game prices for sales almost immediately, right? So it's almost become a meme in the world of video games of why don't Ubisoft games really sell well on release, even though they're really well done and they're this and they're that. All that's argumentative if you don't agree with me, but I'm just saying. But why don't they sell well on release? Well, it's because we know in 2 weeks it's going to be on sale for 20% off. Why would I buy it full price, right? So the reason that they keep everything at that same level is to keep it on, is to make sure that people will still buy physical editions and deluxe editions and all that stuff. Now, what I will say is I'm also at a point where they should cost the same. And the reason for that is because even if I'm buying a disc, the game's not on the disc anymore. It's like there's like a little 2 megabytes on the disc to say that you bought the game, and then you actually download the game from whatever server it is. Even if there is a game on that disc, you know what happens most of the time, Judy? I know you don't know. You're not a huge gamer. Like, that's not your fault. I'll tell you. What happens is they drop a day one patch that essentially overwrites the entire game with a new game. So even if you have, I was having a conversation with my friend about this the other day, even if you have the physical disc, it's not like it was when we had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, right, even PlayStation or PlayStation 2. It's different because the physical game is not on that physical disc anymore. So if you're paying $60 or $70 for a CD that just allows you to download, basically it's a physical download code. That's what you've bought. You paid $60 for a physical download code. So yeah. I've had less of an issue with them being the same price based on the fact that they are essentially the same thing at this point. Now, if we are being honest about it, 100%. They don't need to be the same exact price because it is just, you're not having to pay for any publishing other than whatever it costs to be on that storefront. You're not paying to get the physical disc printed. You're not paying to get them into the stores and get on store shelves. So you're, taking a massive amount of money that you would need to spend and putting it back in your pocket. But, this is something else I can go on for 3 days about, because gaming and complaining about games is my jam. So, okay, Perfect. Boomer, you got me. You got me, Boomer.
Last one. All
right.
LED headlights are too bright.
Oh no, I disagree with that. I love LED. The issue is not the headlights themselves. It's the idiots who use them. It's like guns. They're like guns, okay? LED headlights are fine, or halogen, whatever, because they make it safer to be, to be on the road. Everything is much more well lit. And especially if you're not in a city like Las Vegas, like a Dallas, in which there are a lot of street lights. If you're on a back road or something and there's not a street light for miles upon miles, that stuff really makes it a lot safer.
Oh yeah.
The issue is that motherfuckers don't know how to turn off their high beams. Okay?
Ooh, yes.
You cannot be blasting the entire southwest of the Mississippi with your high beams on and expect people to be okay with it. Yes, they're a little brighter and they do make it a little more annoying that you have to pay attention. But if that other party doesn't have the high beams on, it's not hurting you. Now, what I will say as a caveat to that, because there's not really a way around it, if it's a person in a big SUV compared to a person in a car, sorry, that's the issue with having a car. I don't know what to tell you. That it was an issue before we had halogens. It's going to be an issue after we have them. It's just a different light is being shined in your face. And I'm sorry, that sucks. But guess what? You chose a car, okay? They chose to have a small dick. So it's not, we're not saying that it's your fault, okay? You got your big dick driving around in your Toyota Corolla, and they got tiny dick in their big lifted truck, but, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Sorry, y'all.
Why? You don't like the bright lights, do you?
I love it because Keith has it on his car, but I don't have it on mine. But there was one situation. We were driving home, and it's pretty dark on the bridge that we get to across the lake. But there's this, and like you mentioned, it's a big ass truck, right? And my little RAV4, right?
I want to know what it is.
The fucking headlights are just blasting. And like every time I look in my rearview mirror, nothing. It's just blinded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, and
I had to
like
drive. I had to drive with my hand over like the head thing, or else I can't like.
What I would ask you to that is, even if it weren't LEDs or halogens that were shining, if it were just regular headlights, wouldn't you still be super annoyed by that happening and kind of still needing to like put your headlight down or cover it in some way because it's just it's just the angle at that point, right?
Yeah, but there's just that difference of the yellowness of the normal, like, dull headlight.
No, I don't disagree with that at all.
Like,
I totally get where you're coming from as to why it's more annoying. My point is just, I would rather, and I'm not saying you feel differently, but I would rather take the annoying aspects of having the halogen lights rather than, and trade off the safety aspects rather than the regular headlights and not have that same amount of safety. Look, I'm in insurance, okay? I don't know if you know that about me. I am more of a guy who appreciates safety and safety features because they keep the rates down a little bit. Like if you don't have a car with blind spot protection, then I don't know what you're doing. Like your rates are stupid high just because of that one thing, I guarantee it.
Damn, you're saying I should get a new car?
Yeah, I already told you.
I should get a new car so I can lower my
insurance. See, she does this to me. We were doing our production meeting over the weekend, and she was asking me about iPads, and I was like, if you're going to do anything, you should get an iPad. Keith, Ryan said I should get an iPad.
Yep.
God. Yep. Just like that. And Keith was like, God damn it,
Ryan says I need a new car.
Yeah. Keith, Ryan said we need a new house, one in a Democrat neighborhood.
He said we need to get a new car so we can lower our insurance rate.
Oh, God. Watch, you get like a Maserati, though. You're like, I thought it was going down. I thought it was going down.
No way.
All right, going to something that's still kind of on the political spectrum. Have you heard of this TikToker, Lily Gaddis?
I did not know that was her name, but I know the video of it.
So Lily Gaddis, she did a TikTok in which she's obviously making a fake meal because when you look at the spices that she puts into it, she puts like seasoned salt into it 3 times. She hits it with Tabasco a couple times. She grinds pepper into it like 3 times. Like, this is not a meal anyone would ever want to eat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But she's talking about how, and I'm going to let you guys listen to it in a second, but she's talking about how she is in a group of people that are not gold diggers and do not try to be gold diggers and are fine going after poor guys. And most people who say that women are only gold diggers are just looking at a specific kind of women. And we'll get into it. But she says something at one point that got me really, really going. Okay, so here we go.
So I'm sick and tired of all girls getting blamed, or like guys, certain guys, thinking that all girls are gold diggers. I don't know if it's because you get your information from those street interviews in like Miami at 3 a.m. outside of a nightclub.
It's a lot of seasoned salt.
You're getting the opinion of some dumb whores and
we're just throwing olive oil in there.
Looking for a green card. Yes, they are probably gold diggers, but that's the exception. I'm the rule.
She's the rule.
Everybody I know who's married right now, they're married to broke ass. So
see, there it is. There it is. She dropped the N-bomb. N-A, but still dropped it, okay?
Yes.
Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that she was trying to be derogatory, that she was trying to belittle or anything like that. What I am going to say is that as someone who lives in a society in which Drake, who is an actual black man, is now being told he is no longer allowed to say the N-word, I will be damned if I live in a world in which this little white girl is allowed to say that word. Okay?
Right.
And she followed it up with this.
Oh, I didn't know she posted it in.
She posted a follow-up. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So a recent video of mine seems to have upset members of a certain community. And it
seemed to.
All the backlash just really made me, just really do a deep dive, like do a soul search. And after all that, I still couldn't find a care.
You're going to call us racist. You're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs. Fuck you.
This is what she posted. I didn't put that. This is what she posted. So she does not care at all. And you're right. Am I going to call you a racist? I'm not going to call you any of that. I don't even know who that guy was, but am I going to call you a racist? You're goddamn right. You know why?
Yeah.
Because you are not allowed to say that word. Just like I am not allowed to say anything that belittles Mexicans or Asians or Russians or Canadians. Can you belittle a Canadian? What do you call him, like a maple syrup slurper? I don't know. But either way, I can't say it. I cannot say it. And for her to try and justify her actions. Now, this is a woman who does a lot of stuff on like Fox News type affiliates. I read the list earlier.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'm not going to say that she does.
That.
I'm not going to say she does Fox News specifically, but I was looking at the article earlier and it did say that she does stuff that is definitely more towards the right and in the political atmosphere. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm not surprised that. I'm not surprised that she dropped something like this, saying about how the women are just gold diggers. They're at clubs. They're trying to get their green cards, all that stuff, which is also highly offensive. Offensive, right? At least she's not saying, though, that it's any specific group of people trying to get their green cards. That's the only thing that's saving grace, is that you're just saying all the whores at the clubs are just trying to get a green card.
Yeah, that is what she was saying.
Right. But she did specifically drop that N-word as if she was allowed to say it. And I sit here, honestly, if it was up to me, I would just say if it's offensive, then no one should say it, right? But that's not the world that we live in. We don't live in a world in which everything is fair and everything is equal. Go back to my Luka Doncic argument and you'll understand that, okay? We live in a world where things are separate. They are not always equal. They are not always fair, but they are what they are and we have to deal with them, right? So she is not allowed to say that word. Just like, guess what? I'm not allowed to say the C word. I've dropped the C word more than one time in company that it was not appropriate, but understandable because it was my people's. But I would never drop that in a public forum like this. And even when I did drop it in personal forums, doesn't mean it was appropriate. It just meant that I was around people that understand me, and so it wasn't taken as seriously as it might have been in other circles. Okay?
Right.
But as I'm saying, just because I can drop it doesn't mean I should be allowed to. And this goes even further back to last week's show, 20 years of the worst period in U.S. history. What happened in 2016, Judy?
Trump.
And because of that, everyone just started saying, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to say whatever I want. It doesn't matter if I have any couth anymore. I am just going to be 100% me. And if you don't like that, then that's your fault. That is what happened on both sides. Yep. On both sides of that carpet. Okay, I'm not trying to say this was the thing on the right, because I know a lot of lefts that are assholes. But that is what happened. And now we have people who are on social media getting millions of views, dropping the N-word like it's part of their normal fucking vocabulary.
Yeah. And I remember seeing that video on the Twix. And at first, this is before I even knew about the apology video. At first, I thought she just did it because she's trying to get the attention. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, like it sounded like, because literally so many people were like either commenting on it, all of this. Like,
real quick, I had to watch this 2 times because the first time she said it so fluidly, I didn't even hear it the first time.
Oh,
right.
you did.
So then going through the comments and being like, that white girl said what? I had to go back and re-listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was just focused on her talking all the other shit. So please, I just wanted to let you know, like, yeah, it was just, I had to also go through the comments and everything. But go ahead. What were we going to say?
Yeah. And so at first I'm like, oh, she just did this for clout or what?
Can you hear that?
No.
Hold on. No, nothing?
No, what's happening?
Oh man, I'm sorry. The EP passed out and I could hear her snore.
No.
She's been so tired lately.
Oh,
It's
poor
just-
EP.
Yeah, poor EP. But like, I just hear everybody like,
Don't make fun of her.
I'm not making fun. This is just me giving you guys a play-by-play of what's happening in my house right now. Okay. Just... All right. Anyway, go on.
EP, you might have sleep apnea if that's how you sound like.
Well, she's probably just nursing more blood leeches, so it's fine.
Anyways,
What is happening?
All right, so back to this lady. I thought she just did this for clout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like she wants the clicks, she wants to be what have you. All the people obviously commenting on it gets thrown to other people. So it just keeps building and building. But now that you posted now that you showed me her apology video and the fact that she probably does like right-wing podcasts, most likely.
Oh, I 1,000% agree with you. There was nothing about this that wasn't specifically to get people uproarious, right? Because like I said, if you watch forget what she said. Just forget what she said.
Yeah.
If you watch what she's making, that is not food. Okay, that is not anything anyone. Look, I know. I'm going to get a little racial for a second, okay? And I'm sorry about this, but I'm going to get a little racial. I know how white people cook. Okay? They don't use that much salt. They don't use that much salt. Okay? They don't know how to use enough pepper either. She hit the grinder 3 times. Okay? She just emptied the entire thing of olive oil into it like it was like, but that's what I'm saying. It was so clear by the way that she was just throwing ingredients into that bowl that was something that was completely staged so that she could deliver a message and, like you said, Judy, get clicks. So
yeah, God, I'm so annoyed by that. Ugh.
that's the world we live in, though, man. Like,
I know.
You know, it's like I was telling you with the podcast, you know, a little inside stuff, but I would rather on our podcast give you guys a witty, funny kind of title that, you know, doesn't really hit on all the topics, but gives you like an understanding of who we are as like some people, just what the funnies are trying to be about. But you know what gets the clicks? If I just put Jason Kelce, J-Lo, Taylor Swift, if I just put random celebrity names in the titles, I'll get more views on that video. So no.
I mean, let's not forget our Trump video was probably like one of the most viewed.
Matt Rife was the most clipped or the most viewed video we've had to date. It's like 700 views or whatever. That's right. We get big numbers, baby. We do big things. We on racks on racks on racks of single solitary digit views. But my point is, yeah, it's just we are now living in a time that this is how people make their living, by being the worst version of humans. You know, and I'm sure at some point it's going to go away to a degree, and then people are going to do what they do now and be like, oh, you know, you really can't make this like they used to make things. You know, people's like the dumbest thing, and I think it's true to a degree, but people say you can't make The Office today. Yes, you can. You might not be able to do every single stupid solitary joke. You might not be able to have Steve Carell kiss another guy without him knowing at the time. Like, that could probably get some people in actual trouble. But that's a true story, by the way. Steve Carell, the guy who plays Oscar, who plays the gay character, in one scene, because Steve is a big impromptu guy, made his bones in like Second City and stuff. But in one episode, he kisses Oscar, and that was not supposed to happen. And so I don't know if this is actually what happened or this is just the theory. But like, homie got paid out some money because it was like not a sexual harassment lawsuit, but people were afraid that it was going to be one of those. And that's what I'm saying. In the society that we live in now, no, you would not be able to get away with kissing a man, a woman, anyone without their full-on consent. Right? Yeah. That doesn't mean you can't make the entire show. Doesn't mean you can't have fucking Jim making puppy dog eyes at Pam for 7 fucking seasons. Come on, guys. But that's what'll happen with stuff like this, in which it'll just, although maybe not on X, because I don't know, ever since they lifted the porn ban, things are crazy in my algorithm, okay? You used to have to have people go, yo, this is the deep throat thread. Ladies, do your thing. Now they just do their thing in the timeline.
Look, speaking of, I don't know if you noticed or if you knew about this, but your likes on Twix are now private.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I have no idea. I got a notification saying like, "Oh, your likes are
weird.
Your likes are private now." And so people were like, "Why?" Like that was the whole point. Like you wanted to see the nasty stuff that people like. Just so you go through it. No, they're like, "No, we're taking it away from y'all now."
I don't understand Elon at all.
Yeah. And then you still have this lady still prevalent apparently on the Twix. So who knows? She needs to move over.
Although she did get fired from her job. This article did say.
Oh.
Yes, this article did say. I'll read it right quick. A white trad wife, it says trade with no E, but has been fired from her job after she used a racial slur in a TikTok video, but she has refused to walk back her hate-filled remarks. I'm trying to see where it said that. Either way, yeah, she got fired. The name... Let's see, Roth of the Carolinas, which provides home health services for elderly people, announced a newly hired employee made inflammatory remarks on social media that we do not align with, nor do the values or beliefs of our company. Oh my God.
You know, one thing I will say about social media is that when somebody does something out of pocket like this, they will come after you. They will do their research and find out where you work. They will call your jobs. They will write like false reviews about you.
That's the issue I have, though. No, that's where it goes too far, honestly. Doing anything in which you are now lying is messed up. If you want to be an asshole and make sure that her boss sees this, or make sure that people in the company see this, then that's one thing. But just going and flatly lying and saying, oh, she gave me terrible service and she called me a C word and an N word, that's just, it's not just affecting her, you're also affecting the entire company.
Their business, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And look, in this case, that business actually, when they found out, did what a lot of people would say is the correct thing. But I guarantee you're right, Judy. A bunch of people found out where she worked and posted a bunch of dumb shit on Yelp and Google reviews and all that stuff. And it affects the bottom line of that company because one worker did something stupid. She probably worked there for like 3 weeks. She was still on probation probably. And they were like, this is what you did? We gotta cut you. I'm sorry.
Like, damn, bitch, you could just keep it to yourself. Like, I wouldn't want her taking care of my grandma, or my great grandma. And
she was probably like an executive assistant. Okay, I highly doubt that she was going to anyone's house and providing home health care. Okay?
You never know.
I know. I used to work in that field. She was not the kind. Actually, no. You're right. You're probably right. Actually. Either way, we are out of time. Do you want to still talk about mukbangs though, or you want to save it for next time?
No, I'll save it for next time.
All right. Well, we will talk about
this lady got me going.
We will talk about how mukbangs make Judy just, feel gross, for lack of a better term.
I just hate them.
Right, but you hate them probably because of how gross they make you feel and you watch them. That's my point. Either way, save it.
We'll find out
save it for the next time.
Tomorrow.
Next time on Judy and the Bad Dog Morning Show Radio, Monday through Friday. Yeah! God. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to A Conversation with Judy and Ryan. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we got 47 followers. My new goal is simply just to beat our subscribers, and my new goal is just to beat Judy in subscriber count. So help me do that, please. Help me beat her ass. Go over to YouTube at takeabreathpod, and if you can't do that or you don't want to, no problem. I don't really care about that. If you have the time, if you have the want to do it, please do. But we just appreciate that you're here in any way, shape, or form. And we will be here next week on A Conversation with Judy and Ryan. Bye.
Bye.